So let us see what is concept of cogging. Okay, so what is the statement here for cogging? Even when full voltage is applied to the stator winding, the rotor of 3-phase cage induction motor fails to start. That means it fails to start even when we have applied our supply. Okay, even when full voltage applies to the stator winding. So the stator winding is applied with 3-phase winding, 3-phase supply, but our rotor fails to start. The rotor is not starting rotating. Okay, the rotor has not started any rotation. So why it is happening? This happens when the number of stator slots and rotor slots either equal, okay, or stator slots are integral multiple of rotor slots. That means even if my stator slots are equal to my rotor slots, our rotor refuses to start. Okay, or even my stator slots equal to integral multiple of rotor slots, then also our rotor doesn't start. That means the cogging phenomena happens whenever number of stator slots equal to number of rotor slots, or number of stator slots are integral multiple of rotor slots. So even we have applied the voltage supply to our stator winding, but our rotor is refused to start. That means it fails to start. Actually it is supposed to start whenever we are supplied with 3-phase AC supply, because our 3-phase induction motor is a self-starting machine. But why it is not starting? Why it is fails to start? Because the stator slots are equal to rotor slots, or stator slots are number of rotor slots. So why this is happening? Let us see. Now let us observe torque slip characteristics of our 3-phase induction motor first. Okay, so this is a typical torque slip characteristics. Actually the region which is in the left side, okay, this is at S equal to 1, this is our slip equal to 1, it's starting. So the region at which our slip greater than 1, this region is called braking region. The braking happens here. Okay, braking happens here. This is called braking region, and the region which is right from here after the S equal to 0. Okay, whenever our slip is negative, that means our rotor speed is greater than synchronous speed, that is called generating region. So for slip negative, this is generating region. Okay, and for slip greater than 1, this is braking region. That means braking is between slip value 2 to 1, between 2 to 1, and motoring is happen when slip is between 1 and 0. Okay, and generating happens when slip less than 0. Okay, so this is the idea. Braking happens between S equal to 1 and 2, and motoring happens between S equal to 1 and 0, and generating happens when S is less than 0, that is negative. So for negative slip, our machine will act as generator. Now let us see. This is our electromagnetic torque, that is our driving torque, okay, generated by the electrical motor. Now this is load torque, a typical load torque, TL. Okay, this is my typical load torque, TL. This is the load, this is the amount of torque applied by the load on our motor. Okay, so our motor has to supply this load torque to run it equalization. Okay, now let us see. This is at starting, so let us consider this my starting torque equal to 10 Newton meters. I am considering it as 10 Newton meters, and here this my load torque is about 8 Newton meters or 9 Newton meters. Let us consider. So our load torque is less than our starting torque. That means our motor can overcome this load torque, because load torque is an opposing torque to our electromagnetic torque or locking torque, I can say. Our load torque is opposing torque to our, this load torque is opposing torque to our electromagnetic torque, or this is a locking torque to our electromagnetic torque. If load torque is greater than our electromagnetic torque, the motor never starts. Okay, so that's why our electromagnetic torque should be greater than this load torque to start the machine. Now let us see, it has been started because our electromagnetic torque is greater than our load torque. Load torque is 9 Newton meters and our electromagnetic torque is 10 Newton meters. Now my motor has been started and it pick up some speed. Okay, the speed is increases from 0 to some value, and our electromagnetic torque starts developing, and it get maximum here, and after this from point up to point here our electromagnetic torque will continue, and till here you can see our electromagnetic torque and load torque are meeting here. That means our motor is having a speed of nr. Okay, and as it is increasing, our speed of the motor tries to increase some more, but our electromagnetic torque is less compared to our load torque, because load torque is this much quantity and electromagnetic torque is this much quantity. Okay, this is my TL, this is my electromagnetic torque at this instant. So what happens, our electromagnetic torque is less compared to load torque. Okay, so our motor is not overcoming load torque, because load torque is more compared to electromagnetic torque, so our motor starts decelerate. That means it starts decreases in speed, and it comes back to this point because whenever our electromagnetic torque meets our load torque. This is called stable operating point region. This is stable operating point, because our electromagnetic torque meets with low torque, so our motor operates at this stable operating point. Okay, so this is stable operation. Now our motor operates at this point because of that load. Now let us see what happens if I increase the load torque. Okay, this is my load torque initially. Now let me turn on the machine. I have turned on the machine. This is my new load torque TL2. Okay, as you can see, this is starting torque and this is load torque. That means my starting torque is 10 Newton meters. I am considering my new load torque, that is 11 Newton meters. So my load torque is greater compared to our electromagnetic torque at starting. So our motor doesn't start because the load torque has locked the rotor of the induction machine, because it has more torque compared to our starting torque, because it cannot overcome the starting torque, cannot overcome the load torque. So our motor refuses to start. So this is one phenomenon. Now let us understand what is cogging. So I have considered an induction machine. It can be squirrel cage or slip ring. Okay, so this is rotor of our induction machine and this is stator, and you can see there are 12 slots on the stator, 1 2 3 and so on, 12 and 12 slots on the rotor. Okay, for simplification I have cut this machine here, okay, and expanded the periphery like this. Okay, this is my slot number 1, okay, and this is 12. I have cut the machine like this and expanded the periphery. So you can see this is the blue color one is stator and this is rotor, red color is rotor. Okay, we have stator and rotor. Now let us see, the number of slots on the stator is 12 and number of slots are on the rotor is 12. Okay, both the slots have equal number. So this is stator winding, the blue color circles, and this is my rotor winding. And you know that our electromagnetic torque is only due to these conductors. Okay, let us consider it as 10 Newton meters due to conductors. Okay, let me consider I have a load torque of 9 Newton meters. Okay, so we are understanding, we will try to understand the concept of cogging here. So what is cogging? Even our 3-phase induction motor stator is applied with full 3-phase voltage, our rotor fails to start. So why it is happening? So we know that our rotor fails to operate if our electromagnetic torque is less than load torque. Okay, so this is what we know. Whenever our rotor tries to black, okay, that means our load torque blacks our rotor from electromagnetic torque. Okay, electromagnetic torque has to compensate load torque, then only our rotor starts. So this is what we know for a rotor not starting thing. Okay, now let us see why it is not starting even our load torque is less compared to electromagnetic torque. Let us see. So we know that there is a air gap MMF present in the air gap. So in the air gap some MMF will present, magnetic motive force. Okay, so this here you can see these are slot tooth. This is slot. Okay, due to the MMF, this is, and the stator material is also a magnetic material, right? Silicon steel. It is a magnetic material. Stator and rotor are magnetic materials. So due to this presence of air gap MMF, the stator and rotor cores will also magnetize. Okay, due to the air gap MMF, our stator and rotor cores will get magnetized. And here you can see the stator and rotor tooths will try to magnetize like this. Okay, the magnetic field tries to form between poles because they are same number of slots. Okay, the stator and rotor poles align because they are having same number of slots. So you can see here our stator and rotor slots are locked, I can say. Okay, there is a magnetic attraction between both the stator and rotor slots. They have been locked. Okay, so I can say that they are aligned. This is called aligned. The stator slots and rotor slots are aligned. That means this alignment will cause some torque opposite to our electromagnetic torque, because we have to have some electromagnetic torque to overcome this alignment. So that's why this alignment is opposite to our electromagnetic torque. Let us say I have considered it as a small number because it is very small. I have considered this alignment torque as 1.5 Newton meters. Now let us see. So these two are opposite to our electromagnetic torque because we have to supply this alignment torque in addition to our load torque because they are locked here. We have some force to move them from this alignment. So here you can see these two are opposite to these things. That means you can combine these two, 9 plus 1.5, that will be 10.5. This is my new load torque or my new opposing torque to our electromagnetic torque. Now let us see. Initially it was 10 Newton meters and load torque was 9 Newton meters. So our electromagnetic torque can easily overcome this load torque. Now what happens, due to this alignment there is some torque that is called alignment torque that is added to our load torque, and our overall load torque has been increased to 10.5 Newton meters. So you can see that our TL dash is sum of our TL plus our alignment torque, which is 10.5. So our TL dash is greater than our electromagnetic torque. Okay, so if our load torque is greater than electromagnetic torque, our rotor fails to start, rotor doesn't start, rotor fails to start. Okay, so here also because our new load torque is greater compared to our electromagnetic torque due to the conductors, our motor doesn't start. So this is why cogging happens. I hope you understand. So in addition to our load torque, there is a alignment torque produced by same number of slots on the stator and rotor. So that alignment torque will be added to our load torque, and our motor doesn't start because electromagnetic torque is less compared to load torque. Okay, and you can start if you can reduce the load torque. If it is 8 Newton meters, if load torque is 8 Newton meters, the total will be 9.5 Newton meters, which is less than our electromagnetic torque. Now we can start. But here you are compromising your load torque. That means you have to reduce some load on the machine because of this alignment. The more is the load capability, the more rating will be the machine. If you can reduce the load, then there is no use of rating the machine. Okay, you have to compromise the load because of this alignment torque. This is useless thing. This is happening unwantedly. So if you can reduce, you can increase the load. You can increase the rating of the machine. You are not supposed to underrate the machine. You can increase the rating. So how can you reduce this alignment torque? The alignment is happening because the stator and rotor have same number of slots. So if we can change the number of slots differently from stator to rotor, we can reduce this alignment so that we can reduce this alignment torque so that our load torque may not be increased. So we can overcome the problem. So for that, what we do is we have to make sure that our stator slots should not be equal to rotor slots, or should not be equal to integral multiple of our rotor slots. Okay, stator slots should not be equal to rotor slots, and I can say it is end not equal to integral multiple of rotor slots. Okay, what do you mean by integral multiple? If my rotor slots are 12, okay, if I increase the stator slots to 24, so then also you will be having this alignment torque because if for one slot tooth you will have two tooths. Okay, this is also alignment. So you have to make sure for a 24 is nothing but 12 into 2, right? This is integral multiple of 12. 24 is integral multiple of 12. So you should avoid this combination of stator slots and rotor slots. Then you can avoid this cogging effect. Okay, and cogging can also be eliminated. Cogging can also be eliminated by squeeing the rotor slots. So what is the squeeing? You know that our rotor is slotted like this. These are the rotor slots. Okay, these are the rotor slots. Let us consider it is a rotor, and these are the rotor slots. Okay, so what do you mean by squeeing then? If I tilt the angle of rotor slots, okay, if I make the rotor slots like this is called squeeing. Okay, if this is done, you can see that our stator slots cannot align with this angled rotor slots, so that we can reduce the cogging. So cogging can be reduced by squeeing the machine. Cogging can be reduced by squeeing. Okay, so this is about cogging.